pray for, every night and every day for. You give it all, then you give more. That's good for footy.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Give us a big Collingwood welcome. Oh, I like it. I like it. There's only a few of them in the room doing this. What do you got for us, Damo? What are you going to do? You going to entertain us or what? We hope so. The boys are out the back. They're ready to come out here and have a bit of fun with you. Yeah? All right, just checking. Welcome to the That's Good for Footy panel show. This is the only live and interactive footy panel show going around Australia. This is where the fans meet the players and the players meet the fans. So we'll get these two out here and you two can do exactly that, all right? Our first panellist, he was born on the 2nd of January 1991. He's played a total of 211 games and he's kicked a total of 151 goals. He made his AFL debut back in 2009. He plays for Collingwood. He wears the number 22 on his back. Could you please welcome to the stage, Steele side bottom.
Good old Collingwood forever. They know how to play the game. Side
There he is.
side they stick together.
All right, you got one more. Now this guy, you know he used to play for Collingwood, don't you? All right. Now he's back here playing for Collingwood again. What I really need you to do tonight is make him feel absolutely welcome and give him the old Collingwood rendition of that song when he comes out here. So, our second panellist, he was born on the 12th of February 1990. He has played a total of 168 games and kicked a total of 167 goals. He made his AFL debut back in 2009, same as you, my friend. And he wears the number 11 on his back, not 17, 11. Could you please welcome to the stage, Jane Beams. Come on!
Good old Collingwood forever. They know how to play the game. Side by side they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barricades are shouting.
Here's your chance.
As all barricades should. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for welcoming the boys. How's that? Did you notice the attention to detail on the tats there?
It looks outstanding. It's good. You've missed the left arm, though. It's just been recently done. So
Yeah.
you have to
Not
get
bad,
that up
is
to date. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, boys. It's great to have you both here. Thanks for making yourselves available. Yeah, you can do that. I wanted to say, great to have you here. We were just talking at the back. I think the last time we had you on the show was in these same colours. That was back in about 2012. And it's bloody awesome to see you back in those colours again.
Yeah, feels good. Feels good to
good.
be back in these colours. Black suits me. It's my favourite colour. So.
Can I just ask you, while we're in that, how does it feel like being back in the Collingwood colours for you personally? What's that feeling like?
Yeah,
Straight off the top.
Yeah, to be honest, it's felt just right ever since I've stepped back into the doors. Like I just feel at home, and obviously it's good having guys like Steele around me, like who I've known basically since I've started my career. And I think there's about 25% of the list that I've played with, and a lot of new faces, but yeah, some really great personalities around the footy club, and still a lot of the same coaching staff. Even the guys that massage us and the physios, like they're all the same. So it's been a really smooth sort of transition back into the footy club, and I'm loving every bit of it.
How about the facilities? That must blow your mind. I mean, you're at the biggest club in the land where everything's like kind of no expense. Does it feel like you're walking into, wow, you can get everything here?
Well, I remember the first day I walked into Brisbane and I thought, shit, like, they're a fair way off.
Yeah, had to bring your own toilet paper.
Yeah, you literally, but I mean, obviously, we've got great supporters and fans, and with the success that the footy club's had, over the last 10 years, it's been able to allow us to build those sorts of facilities. So it's an awesome place to go into work each day and do execute your craft. Yeah,
good on you, mate. Excellent. Moving over to you now, Stu, I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions before we do get stuck into our segments. Had a little bit of a mishap at your joint the other week. Can you alluding to what actually happened, if you feel free to do so.
Yes. Unfortunately, I lost half of my house. Pretty much everything inside I've lost. So pretty much the back half of the house caught fire.
Yep.
And then the front half was obviously smoke damage and water damage. Things are just sort of like there's a split system on one of the walls in the spare bedroom, which the fire was nowhere near, but it was like melted off the wall from the heat. So it hasn't been great, but I've got 2 little dogs who we got out fine.
Good.
Alicia and I, my girlfriend, are fine, so we can replace the house. It's lives you can't replace, so everyone's safe.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
We're actually at we catch up for a few beers and celebrate the 2010 Premiership each year, and it was weird because it got to about 2:30 and Steele wasn't there, and it started at 12:30, and I thought to myself, this is really unusual. Like usually, when there's a few beers and a bit of shit
And
to
it's
be
the
talked.
boys.
It's like, Steele's always there, and I sort of thought it was funny, and then I was sitting next to Alan Didact at the time, and he only lives just around the corner from Steele, and his wife called him and said that Steele's house was on fire, and I shit myself, and like straight away, like all the other boys were like, that's not an excuse. And I was more concerned for his well-being, and I was just hoping he was all right. I actually called around there, and because I drove there, and called around and seen what he was like, and I remember him saying, he's like, I just waited to wake up. He couldn't believe what was going on. So.
No way.
But luckily it's insured, and
and as we say, you've come out, everyone's intact, and there wasn't any problems there. But it must have been ironic, as you say, 2:30. There's no Steelo. Come on, this is like the reunion of the 2010. There's got to be something serious going on here.
Yeah, you knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
And his phone was turned off as well. So I started to get a little bit more worried.
Oh, really?
So I wasn't
Oh, so
answering
you had
my
no
phone.
community. So no,
I had to wait
man.
till. It was probably a good thing I didn't have my phone for a few days as well. So I had to get a new phone on the Monday, and new wallet, new clothes.
Wow. New identity.
New
wow.
everything.
Jesus. As well. Tell me, with training at the moment, boys, what's it like? You've got obviously the full squad's back, and now you've got draftees coming in and a couple of new people. What's it like? What's the mood like down at training at the moment? Yeah, I know. Sorry, just to interject. I know you had an open training session with the girls today as well.
Obviously the first of 4 you guys, they started on November 20, so they've been back for a little bit now. So I've been back for a full week today. Obviously I missed the first few days trying to sort my shit out.
Literally, you did have an
Yeah,
excuse.
literally. So no, it's been good. I think a lot of the guys have come back in good shape, which is pleasing. You mentioned the guys who have picked up. Obviously, Beamsy. We got Jordan Roughhead from the Bulldogs, who I think has got plenty to offer. And even some of our new draft picks in Isaac. Will Kelly, obviously.
I'll go through that. I won't
steal your thunder, mate. But everyone's come back well, and training's going well. We finish next Tuesday, so we've got a bit of an extended break over Christmas, which will be good. So
nice.
Boys are good.
Yeah, excellent. Wanted to just ask you, just on the last topic here, is it good to be home outside of football, being back in Melbourne?
Yeah. It's the best thing for. I mean, always. Yeah, like I've always made decisions based on. I've got a young family and a wife, and I put Dane Beam as a footballer aside, and I make decisions purely based on, me as a father and a husband, and it was the right thing for me to do. Obviously, like it was in the air, like as to what was going to happen. I went to the Lions I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks out from the season finishing, and because there was a fair bit of speculation floating around Melbourne, obviously in Brisbane.
That was Swanee doing most of that.
Yeah, well, someone started it. And anyway, like it was doing the rounds, and I mean, Brisbane, you don't get a lot of that. It's a big rugby league state, so I went to them and I just said like in 2 years' time I was contracted for another 2 years, and I basically said to them that in 2 years' time that I'd be looking to come back to Victoria, and that was definite, regardless of how we were going, because you know, this is home for me. Like, I feel like Melbourne, you know, when Collingwood gave me the opportunity when I was 18 years old, I feel like I'd done, you know, most of my maturing and a lot of my independence came in those first 6 years when I was at the footy club, and obviously met my wife here, and all her family are from here, and my sister lives here, and my dad's side of the family are in Yarrawonga, so it's I've actually, there's a bit of a misconception that, you know, I'm actually, you know, I was born in Victoria, so technically I'm a Victorian. I grew up.
Just be clear.
Yeah, I grew up in Queensland, but really there's not a lot there for me anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously, when Dad passed away, that was sort of the last sort of straw, and I just felt like I needed to get out and start fresh again. Well,
good on you, mate. I think you've been playing some fantastic football for the Brisbane Lions, and it's going to be great to bringing him back into your midfield. So all the more power to you, and good luck for what 2019 holds. What we're going to go through it, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find out a little bit more about Dane Beams, for those of you that don't know a little bit about him. We do it in a segment we call What About Me? There you go. All right, so what we're going to do here, mate, I'm just going to ask you a series of questions just to give the people in the room a little bit more of an insight into you. Do you come from a big or a small family?
Well, if you combine both Kelly and I's family, big.
Okay.
Families, yeah.
And siblings on your side?
I've got two sisters and a brother.
There you go. All right. Who did you barrack for growing up?
I was a Bombers fan.
Ooh.
We asked Steele was as well, so you can boo him as well. I've copped enough booing over the last 4 years, so boo him.
It's all right, that'll be the last of it. When we asked that question at the start, so we can get all those boos out of the way, does the family barrack for, and I don't mean direct family, indirect family as well, do they barrack for who you play for, or do they barrack for another team?
No, they support me. There's one exception, Mark, being Kelly's brother, who's got Down syndrome. He's out and out Richmond, so he was filthy in the prelim final. But I was rubbing it into him, so that was good.
Well, a lot of banter going on there. How old were you when you first played footy?
I started when I was 6.
6, okay. Wow, all right. What's the one thing that you love about footy the most?
Just being around, you know, great people. Yeah, just meeting new faces and building friendships that you hopefully carry through your life. Yeah,
so you've got a lot of that, mate. Do you have any movie or TV shows that you're watching currently on Netflix or Stan, or any recommendations of any movies you've seen that you want to share?
I do watch a lot of Netflix. I haven't started. Hey, yeah, Steele put me onto a documentary. I was laying in bed and I was like, "You got anything for me?" And he was like, "Yeah, what was it called? 26 years on,
yeah.
Basically about a guy who spent, I think he was wrongfully convicted and spent 26 years in jail, and then come out, trained, and had one professional fight and won. And so it was just a little 40, I think it was a 50-minute documentary.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty interesting.
Right. Have you been watching Billions or seen any of those?
I haven't watched Billions. My favourite TV show of all time was Breaking Bad. I loved Breaking Bad.
Bloody awesome.
But I'm not really watching anything at the moment. I was watching Making a Murderer Part 2.
Okay, yeah.
So, I'll probably continue doing that. It's just a matter of finding time.
I find two girls.
Yeah, a boy and a girl.
Sorry, boy and a girl.
I find my bedtimes are getting shorter and shorter, since I've had kids. So.
Understood. What do you do to relax and unwind while we're on that subject? What does Dane Beams do to chill out?
I love playing with my children. My daughter's at an age now that, you can play. Like, I pretty much bounce on the trampoline with her and stuff now, and I'm going to buy her a bike for Christmas, so she's just starting to get to that age where you can do more practical things with her. So,
beautiful.
I used to be one that struggled with sort of taking my mind off footy, after training, after games, but since I've had children, it's become a lot easier. I can put my bag at the door and then just walk in and
that's good.
Give all my attention to my kids. And
well done, mate.
Life, so.
That's beautiful. That's really nice. To me, it's even in this short conversation, it's nice because to me, it's like you're finding a bit of peace within yourself, which is great. You've been handed a first-class ticket to travel anywhere in the world. Where are you going?
I'd like to say somewhere that I haven't been before, but I've got no evidence to back that up. So, like, my favourite place is New York. I've always, I've loved going there, and the family and I are going to do a Japan trip at the end of the year. We've just struggled the last 2 years with the kids being so young, trying to, I guess,
squeeze all that in together.
Well, and they're Kelly's got them heavily in routines and stuff, so we find the Japan time zone's relatively similar to here, so it shouldn't be too bad from that aspect.
Yeah, great, excellent. What's your favourite movie of all time, and how many times have you seen it?
I'm not one to keep replaying movies, but it was actually it's a documentary. Richie McCaw, who one of the greatest All Blacks of all time. I have no interest in rugby union at all, but
his story.
It was just when I was going through the phase in Brisbane when I first became captain and started to take the leadership role a little bit more seriously. He was one that I watched that documentary. I probably watched it 4 or 5 times and just picked up little bits and pieces and found it really interesting from someone that had no idea about rugby union.
Yeah.
It was just more about how he went about
his
things.
journey, his story.
Yeah.
That's great. Is there anything that really annoys you at the moment that you want to share with all these lovely people?
There was something the other day that I get annoyed in the car quite easily.
Easy to happen in Melbourne.
Yeah. I just bought a manual car and I'm like, why the hell did I do that now? Like, I'm driving, because I'm actually living just until we can get our place back in Kew, around the corner from Steele.
Yep.
We had tenants in it till August, so we managed to get them out by January, so we should be back in there in January. But for the time being, we're actually living with Kelly's sister, which is straight up Ferntree Gully Road. So it only took me 10 minutes to get here, which is good. But on the way home from training, that Monash freeway can be a bloody nightmare.
I don't know why they've put that word freeway at the end of it, because it never happens. It's crazy. Where has been your best ever holiday?
I'd say, New York. My honeymoon was really nice.
Yep.
Different,
Again?
completely different holiday, but really relaxing and managed to come up with the first child there. So
always helps.
Yeah.
That is a bloody good holiday. Yeah, let's go number 1 on that one. All right, last question here. Family and friends have flown in from interstate. What are you going to do to entertain them?
Good call. I'll probably take them to the footy. Bit harder to get tickets to Collingwood. It used to be easy in Brisbane.
Very easy.
As many as you wanted, and they just said, have them.
Oh, that's brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I love doing these shows, because that was a very candid conversation with Dane Beams. Can you please put your hands together for him? Thanks, mate. Thank you very much. Sorry to put you on the spot like that, but it was nice, and thanks for being so candid. What I want to do with you boys now, we're going to involve you now still. I just wanted to talk about the new players via the draft, the trade and the rookies. Tell us your thoughts and your feelings about these particular things, the height, likely type, position you reckon these players could play, and have they settled in well? And I'll start with Isaac Quainer. Obviously, he's a running defender, plays tall. Give us some insight into him.
So Isaac is clearly, just a young 18-year-old. I think he's been, I suppose, a highly regarded junior. I'm not sure exactly how sort of like the zoning works, but for some reason he was zoned to Collingwood, so we sort of had the first pick at him. But he's a little solid bloke. He'll play off half back. He's he trains flat out with intensity all the time, and he's someone that I can see probably slipping straight in. So look for him to probably play a fair few games this year, I would have thought. Yeah. Okay,
good. We'll go on to Will Kelly, obviously the famous Kelly name, back at Collingwood again. Defender, he's got a bit of a foot injury at the moment. Can you give me some insight into Will?
Beamsy wouldn't know half of these blokes you're talking about.
That's why he's put his microphone down.
Exactly right. So Will will be sort of like, similar role, but half back, maybe even play tall. But I haven't actually seen him out in the track yet, so potentially he's got some little niggles or whatever he needs to take care of. But his dad played a fair few games for Collingwood, so hopefully he can have a better career than his old man.
Pinch. Now, just to get this right, Atu Boone Sena Vulgari? No, you only get one chance at that. Unless you want to chip in, I'm more than happy for you to have a go. But obviously, Fijian, quick small forward.
Yeah, so his nickname, as we've learned, is Bozza, so you can call him Bozza.
As we do in Australia, we shorten everyone's
Yeah, he's
nickname.
quick, he's a small forward. I think even still this year, he was playing rugby, so he attacks the ball flat out. And he's someone who's only going to probably get better with age. He probably hasn't played as much footy as some of the other guys, but yeah, he's very quick and yeah, he's good to have.
Exciting prospects. Anton Tohill and Mark Keane off the rookie list, both boys from Ireland?
From Ireland, yeah.
How are you going understanding what they're trying to say?
Yeah, so Anton's all right. Mark, you can't understand. He doesn't open his mouth. He just sounds like he's mumbling half the time. But I think Anton's 18. I'm presuming that Mark's the same age. I think when Irish guys come over, they all seem to kick the footy all right.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've actually ever played a game of AFL before, but obviously Gaelic's a little bit similar. So, those guys will probably take a bit more time to get up to the speed of it. But, they've showed some good signs early.
And two last ones. One of them we're very familiar with, and the other one, Jordan Ruffhead. Great addition, as you were saying, and you alluded to off the top. Good to have him coming to the side, and obviously having Beamer back. Going to be a formidable Collingwood lineup in 2019, I would be suggesting. I wanted to read this out. Probably everyone's familiar with this stat because it's been floating around everywhere for the last 2 days. But Collingwood is the only team to boast 10 players in the top 100 in Champion Data's official player rankings. And the Magpies' perfect team comprises All-Australian ruckman Brodie Grundy at number 4, midfielders Adam Treloar at number 18, Scott Pendlebury at 21, Steele Sidebottom at 28, Taylor Adams at 31, defenders Jack Crisp at 44, Jeremy Howe at 61, Dane Beams at 65, wingman Tom Phillips at 87, and Jordan De Goa at 90. Wow. That's a mouthful for me, but that's fantastic. That must be super exciting for you. Can I ask, without delving into uncharted territory here, but was that part of the reason that coming back to Collingwood as well? Did that sort of give you more substance to say, look at this is a fantastic list we've got here at the Collingwood Football Club?
Not at all.
No.
To be honest, first and foremost, I just wanted to come back to Victoria, and to be honest, there was only one club I wanted to come back to, and it was Collingwood. I always used to tell, my old man that I'd finish my career back at Collingwood, hopefully, if they wanted me.
Yeah.
And that was a conversation that I had with Bucks before it all sort of became a reality that it could possibly happen. First of all, I wanted to talk to him just about I guess the way our relationship sort of ended. It didn't end on great terms, and I'm and I think Nathan as well. We've both matured a lot over the last 4 years, and that was a really good conversation, and I think it was one that we needed to have. Yep. And then secondly, I just I wanted to make sure that he actually wanted me back at the football club, because if he didn't want me back at the club, I would have stayed in Brisbane. Yeah, right. This club's the only club that I wanted to come back to. I don't think, besides when we've played, I don't think there's been too many games where I've actually missed over the last 4 years. I've always enjoyed watching the club, and although there's been some down times, particularly in the first sort of couple of years when I was at Brisbane, I've always sort of thought the club's headed in the right direction. And it was actually funny, like when I was captain of Brisbane, they always do a survey. They do a survey and they ask all the captains, who will finish in the top 8. Oh, yeah. And you can't, so Pendles can't say Collingwood, so it's basically the 7 others who you think. And I actually genuinely thought Collingwood would go really well this year. I must admit, I didn't think we'd go all the way and get to the grand final, but I did tip us in the 8. And it's exciting. You look at the list and it's pretty stacked. But one of the key things, I guess, with footy clubs is being able to keep everyone on the park and
Good point.
and playing well. So it's it's one thing to look good on paper, but you also got to stay fit, stay healthy, and put your best foot forward when you go out in the ground. Absolutely,
mate. Absolutely. I just want to talk about the re-signings then. 2019 signed through until 2019. You've got Ben Reid, Braden Sear, Tim Broomhead, Lyndon Dunn, and Jamie Elliott. 2020, Callum Brown, Tyler Brown, Jordan De Goey, Braden Maynard, Jordan Roughhead, Brodie Myercheck, Darcy Moore, Nathan Murphy, Flynn Appleby. And 2021, Jeremy Howell, Tom Langan, Josh Thomas, Jaden Stevenson. And 2022, Dane Beams. So there's some an exciting future lies ahead for the Collingwood Football Club. I'll say it now and I'll say it at the end of the show. I wish you guys the best of luck in 2019 because everything that looks good on paper there is going to be an awesome, to say it out on the paddock, so let's hope it happens. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please put your hands together for the boys just for being so candid? Thank you. What we're going to do now is we want to get some people involved in the show. So we need actually... We need two contestants to actually come up and participate in this particular segment, and we're looking for two kids. Who would be those two kids? Sandy's going to come and grab you, and while she's doing that, I'll introduce the segment. It's called Simply the Best.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest.
The way this is actually going to work is I'll be asking the questions predominantly to Dane, but if Dane doesn't know the answer, then Steele has the opportunity to chip in and take the point. All right, so that's how that's actually going to work. Lexi and Benjamin, is it? Is that right? Lexi and Benjamin. Would you mind, Sandy, if you could grab the paddles, and they're in the blue bag there, and just actually give them to the kids? That'd be fabulous. So Lexi and Benjamin. Nice to have you here. How are you, Benjamin? Good. Big Collingwood fan? Yeah? And what about you, Lexi? Yep, don't talk to me, Damien, I'm busy. All right. What's going to be happening here is I'm going to be asking a series of questions to the players, and the boys can chip in with their answer, and when they do, you then just have to keep score. So, Lexi, you're going to be keeping score for Dane Beams, and Benjamin, you're keeping score for Steele Sidebottom. All right, but the question will go to Dane Beams first, and then if he doesn't get it, Steele, it's all yours. All right. You ready for your first one, my friend?
I think so.
Yeah, let's see how we go. Okay. How are we going with the paddle, Sand?
Is that a question?
No? That's all right. Next question. Yeah? That's all right. We'll keep score up here anyway. I'll do it from here. The kids are just there for their good looks. All right. How many premierships has your club won?
15.
Correct. Well done. So that's 1 point to you, Lexi. Just turn that imaginary paddle over. How many times has your team played in a losing grand final? Jeez, there's a lot of murmuring out there.
You're going to say
18? It's 27.
I was going to say that.
Stu was going to say 27. So, yeah, thanks, Sandy. So let's give that point to Steele then. So we're on 1 point each, just to make it exciting. Let's see how we go with this one. Who is your team's captain?
Scott Pendlebury.
Yeah, very good. Don't get that one wrong. Who wears the number 7? That's a point to you, Lexi. You're on 2. Who wears the number 7 at your club?
Adam Treloar.
Correct. That's another point to you, Lexi. You might not have to answer any of these. How many members does your club currently have? Closest to within 1,000, I'll take.
56,000. Oh, currently?
How many members does your club currently have? Closest to within 1,000.
I swear I've seen this today on the board. Yeah, but is it currently, or was it what we had at the end of last year?
We're kind of going to go with what it...
you see, like...
Yeah, well, I've taken it off the website in the last week.
I'll go 89.
Okay, all right. What would you like to say?
81.
You're actually closer. It's 75,705. That was what I got. So I can't give you a point to either because neither of you got close to within 1,000.
Well, at the moment, I think it's 56, so... Keeps on.
Yeah, all right. Where did Collingwood finish on the ladder at the end of the home and away season this year?
It's 4th, wasn't it?
Third. All right. Yeah. It's all right. Welcome him back into the fold.
Got a bad memory.
All right.
Thanks, Ben.
There you go. Benjamin, you've got a point for that one. How many games did your team win, as in Collingwood, this year at the end of the home and away season?
If you don't know it, I'm meant to know it. I'll go 17.
Ooh, what do you want to have a go at?
16.
15. No point to either of you. Sorry, boys. What year did your team last win a grand final, Collingwood, and who did they play?
St Kilda, and it was 2010.
Very good, mate. Very good. Very good. I like it. There you go, Lexi. Another point. We'll test this one, mate. How many points did you win that grand final by?
It was in the 50s or 60s. 50...
Yes.
54.
Do you want to have a go?
51.
No, 56.
Oh.
56. No points there either.
Enough, anyway.
All right, 2 points here, guys. Who was your club's leading goal kicker in 2018? And for an extra point, how many goals did he kick?
It was a Geordie Gowie with 48.
Spot on, mate. 2 points. Well done. There you go, Lexi. 2 points. This one's worth 3.
He told me that today. So.
He wanted you to know, didn't he? Did he drag you aside and tell you, or in front of everyone?
We're doing weights together, and he was pumping his tyres up a bit.
I like it. All right, this is worth 3 points. How many votes, what year, and who was the last Collingwood player to win a Brownlow medal?
So how many votes?
Yep. How many votes, what year, and the player?
Would have been Barks. Actually, no, Swanee.
Yes. Well, Swanee.
With 32? 34.
34. Yeah. And for your extra point, what year? Shh. Don't listen to him.
Yeah. 2011.
Yes, yeah, all right. Well done, mate. 3 points. Lexi, you must be flying down there. All right, here's your last one, mate. Who was the last Norm Smith medalist in the 2010 grand final?
Is it Scott Pendlebury?
Yes, and...
Should have been him.
It should have been too, I agree. And was there anybody else?
Lenny Hayes, yeah.
Lenny Hayes, all right. We'll give that point to you still just to make things even. That means that, Benjamin, you got another point there. It takes you up to a total score of 3. Well done, is that right? Or 4? Doesn't matter. And Lexi, what were you on, 116? Something like that? Well done, Lexi. You are our winner. Thanks, boys. Thanks very much for participating. What I'm going to do, Lexi, this is actually yours because you are simply the best. I can't see her down there, but if you could give her all that. You've won all those vouchers, and you don't go home empty-handed, Benjamin, because there's we call that a soft drink holder, right? Along with some other little paraphernalia and a beanie to keep your head warm, because it's very cold outside. Thanks, guys. Thanks for participating. Well done. Thanks, mate. All right. What we're going to do here, I want two other contestants. Who'd like to come up and play this particular one? You've got to keep score again. Sandy's going to choose you out of the audience. All right, we'll introduce this segment whilst they're making their way up here. It's called Knowing Me, Knowing You. Yes, please. And
Knowing me, knowing you. There is nothing we...
excellent. Ashley, welcome to the show. And? Ella. Nice to have you here, Ashley and Ella. Let's see how we go here. What's going to be happening here, I'm going to be asking a series of questions to the boys. So, Ella, how are you? You well? You're going to be playing for Steele Sidebottom. And Ashley, how are you? You're going to be playing for Dane Beams. So what's going to happen here, boys? Who'd like to go first? Let's ask that.
Just firstly, keep that racket out of his hands, because I reckon the last time we and him used to have some real big duels in table tennis, and he used to sulk up a bit sometimes.
All right, we'll bring out the table later on.
The racket would go flying.
Yeah. Who wants to go first in this segment?
I'll go.
You'll go first. So what's going to happen here, Steele? I'm going to be asking you 10 questions about Dane Beams. And then those 10 questions, exactly those 10 questions, I'll be asking you about Steele Sidebottom. So you can answer yes or no. If you don't like the answer, don't give him the point. It's pretty simple. We'll see how competitive you are. All right, here we go. So, how old is he? This is you to him.
Dane at the minute is 28.
Do you like that answer?
Yeah.
You're going to go with it? All right, okay. What is his date of birth, month and year?
No idea.
No idea.
That's right.
Yeah. Anything else?
Feb?
12th of Feb.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So no go? No go?
So,
Mates after all. 12th of February 1990. Who did he grow up barracking for?
Bombers.
Yeah.
I mentioned that before.
Yeah, he did. What's the one thing he loves about footy the most?
Me. His mates. meeting great people like myself.
Do you like that answer?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah,
That's
good.
fair.
All right, give him a point for it. So, you're scoring down there, okay? Yeah, everything happening? Oh, good. All right. Do you know what, if anything, annoys him the most in life at the moment?
Yeah, when he's in his car, he's living out the end of Ferntree Gully Road, so that Monash can get pretty busy.
On the way home from training, in a manual.
Oh, yeah, I'll go with that, but I also hate flies.
He could have said that too.
I literally sit on the couch at home and I have a tin of fly spray next to me at all times. They just drive me nuts. Like if I'm trying to watch TV and all I can concentrate is like a thing, and I'm like, oh.
And they do that hexagonal thing above your head.
Oh, they're just
They
so
fly in.
annoying. And then even when they're dying, they're still annoying because they're just like. It's like
Hurry up and die already. How many brothers or sisters does he have?
He's got 2 sisters and a brother.
Happy with that answer? Yeah, good, lock it in. How many goals has he kicked in his career?
167, is that what you said before?
I think you won off 168.
Beautiful. Well done. No point there. Okay.
I reckon that was a point. So.
It touched the post on the way through. How many games has he played?
Shit, I don't even know.
181.
Actually, it's 168, but you got the other one right because he has kicked 167 goals and he's played 168 games. So you get 1 point for that, but you didn't
can't
get
retract.
You didn't get the games one. All right.
It's bad info.
And your second last question: what was his first memory of picking up a footy, and what age was he?
He was 6.
Okay.
Down at, where was it, Mudgee Saints or something like that?
Yeah. You got a good memory.
Not bad. He'll
Probably
pay that.
another point, I would have thought.
Excellent. If you had to describe his ideal day, what would it be?
It's changed a lot over the last 4 years. So.
Yeah, ideal day. Well, he'd wake up next to his
That'd be start.
lovely wife, and probably for Dane, there's kids in the room, but something that happened in bed for Dane. That'd be ideal. He'd get up. He'd head into the footy club, see his mates. Maybe have a bit of brekkie with the boys. An ideal day, training would be cancelled for whatever reason, and we get told to head home and have a few beers. Maybe that'd be Dane's ideal day. That'd be pretty close, I reckon.
What do you reckon?
Hit the nail on the head.
Give him a point, he says. I like it. Could that be worth 2? That's not bad. All right, very nice. So how we go down there with the score? 8. Whoa, not bad, mate. That's better than a pass, Mark. It's right up there with a distinction. Well done. You've done exceptionally well. Let's see how we go here. Over to Steele Sidebottom. How old is he?
27.
Correct.
Like that answer. Good. What is his date of birth, month and year?
It's January. Is it the 3rd?
Or second.
2nd of January 91.
Yeah, okay.
It was close.
We can't give it to you, but that ended up right. Who did he grow up barracking for?
Essendon.
Correct. Yep.
Beautiful. What's the one thing he loves about footy the most?
I suppose coming into the change rooms and being a clown.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
Nothing better than being a clown at the footy club. Do you know what, if anything, annoys him in life the most?
I'm so bad with this stuff because there is stuff that he said and it's fun. Give us a little clue. Insurance claims are one of them, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's not bad. I'd pay that.
I'll give him half a point.
Okay, only half a point. Yeah, rip one of those numbers in half. How many brothers or sisters does Steele have?
He's got 4 brothers.
Correct. There you go. How many goals has he kicked in his career?
151.
Spot on, mate. 151. Well done. Beautiful. How many games has he played?
208. 11.
Yeah. Which one?
Which one?
11.
You'd be right. 211. Well done. What was his first memory of picking up or playing footy? At what age?
Might have been with the Redlegs or something out of Telly-Garutna.
Yeah, that's correct.
Pay that. Excellent. Here's your chance. If you had to describe Steele Bottom's ideal day,
Steel
what would
Bottoms.
it be? What was it?
Steel Bottoms.
Steel Bottoms.
Probably
Yes.
putting on a pair of undies first.
Nice. Let's start that again. Still side bottom. Yeah. There you go.
He'd be... it depends if it was a training day. If it was a training day, it'd be get up. Obviously, he always comes into the footy club with a positive attitude, and he's one of those guys that's just got such an infectious nature, so he'd probably tell a few jokes, get all the boys up and going. Then once he starts training, he's quite serious. Then when he gets off the track, he's the complete opposite. He's quite jovial. And if it was a non-training day, it'd be probably get up, play a bit of golf, have a few stubbies, and kick back and probably watch cricket.
Correct.
Nice.
That'll
That's
do.
a bloody
I'll be
good
happy
day.
with that.
That sounds excellent. So we give a point for that. So how did we go there score-wise? 8 versus 9. Not bad. Would that be correct? 9. 9 versus 8. So we have a winner. The winner is actually Dane Beams.
Just watch that racket.
All right, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to give you all of the prizes that we've actually got here. Is it Ella? No, Ashley. Ashley, they're all of yours. Okay, so there's some vouchers and some other paraphernalia stuff you might want to throw in the bin when you leave. Hopefully you won't. There's, again, one of those drink holder things and a beanie to keep your head warm because it's very cold outside.
Sorry, Ella.
Thank you very much for playing. Thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Ella. Thank you, boys. Thanks for participating in that segment. Thank you very much, Sandy. I'll actually just drop those there. That's perfect. What we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to just talk about a couple of new rules. And what I want you boys to do is just go better or whatever. Really doesn't matter. We can knock this on the head real quick. The kick-ins, there's no need to kick to yourself to play on after a point score now. It's 10 metres in the goal square instead of 5. What are your thoughts on that? Better or whatever?
I think it's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever. Okay, good. Hands in the back. The hands in the back rule is allowed to protect the area in the marking contest, provided you don't push. Better or whatever?
It's going to be hard to adjudicate, so
Yeah.
it's going to be tough for the umpires.
Yeah,
Okay.
we actually had some umpires at training today, and we did like a few breakdown
Take them out
drills.
the back and give them...
Yeah, so you can. There used to be a rule like hands in the back,
Yeah.
and obviously push in the back. So you can have your hands in the back, but as soon as if you've got a bent arm, as soon as you
Straight
extend your arm, so you can have your arm straight with the hands in the back. You obviously just can't push. So.
It's going to be one of those ones. I think it's going to drive a lot of.
And then
Yeah.
blokes will try and
Yeah.
flop or whatever. But
Are you supporters looking forward to that one? So it's going to be up to interpretation again, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, the umpires aren't going to get everyone right, but
No.
it'll be human error.
Absolutely. No longer from a bounce, throw up or throw in does a ruckman have prior opportunity.
yeah, well, I like
Better?
that just because Brody does grab it out of the ruck quite often, and that's probably one of his strengths.
Kicked a nice handy goal with it. Your thoughts on that one? Same? Just better? Yep, okay. Player with the ball can play on whilst the penalty is being measured out.
I mean, it's going to be on the onus is going to be on the guy that's giving away the 50 or the guy that's on the mark just to be switched on.
Yeah.
It's going to be something you're going to have to practice, but I mean, I think we had one the other day at training, and I think the players will adjust to it pretty quickly.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I think all these are just about speeding the game up.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
We'll train it and.
Whatever.
Whatever. Yeah,
That's what he meant
better
to
or whatever.
say.
I get you. Yeah. Hey, a
Just
goal.
don't give away 50s. It's easy.
Goal after the siren. You can now do a check side snap across the body, but you must be in direct line with the man on the mark and the goal. Good one?
Nah.
No?
So I just think those are things that they don't need to change, and they're just changing them for the hell of it.
Yeah, right. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't get a lot of those sorts of shots.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
don't worry about
okay.
it.
And this one, runners only. Oh, this is a contentious one. Runners only after a goal and before play restarts. Water carriers not during the play. Better or whatever.
Well, it's better because I don't have to tell them to piss off as much anymore.
Let's go with that answer. I like it all. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the boys. That was great. Thanks, guys. All right, what we're going to do now, I alluded to this off the top of the show. We're going to actually take some questions from the floor. All right, Peter, how are you, mate?
Who's your question to?
Good, thanks, Damo. Question for Dane. Since you've come back to Collingwood, have you noticed much difference in the culture around the club and in Bucks himself? Is there a lot that you've noticed has changed?
Most definitely. Yeah, I was having this conversation today with our welfare guy, Brent McCaffer, who obviously used to play at the footy club. Yeah. I think the biggest change that I've noticed, well, first of all, with Bucks is he's gotten a lot better, and I've only had a small sample size of it. But he's been really good at delegating. Like, I remember when I first left, he was. I wouldn't go that far, but it was just he loved to always have his two bobs worth and try and I guess control training. Whereas he's putting a lot of trust in the assistant coaches and just giving them the reins to do what they do best, and that's coach. And he's sat back and he's just watched on and he's chimed in when he needs to, and I think he works really closely with these boys in the leadership group. But I've definitely seen a massive shift in him, and even in the conversations that I didn't actually get a chance to sit down with him and have a chat because he was over in Italy. So I had a few chats with him over the phone, and you could just sense that he was a different person, and he probably could sense that I was a different person as well. So, and from a cultural point of view, I've definitely it's a different dynamic. I think there's only 25% of the playing group that I've played footy with before, so there's a lot of new faces, and with that brings a lot of new personalities and a different dynamic. So I think there's a really good mixture and a really good feel about the club.
Get excited, Peter, get excited. All right, who we got next, Sandy? Bring her in.
Tracy?
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Who's your question
What's
to?
your question?
Question was for Dane. You've pretty much already sort of alluded to it, but first of all, welcome back. Speaking from the fans' perspective, great to have you back home. Just basically the question was in regards to Bucks and your relationship with him back when you used to play and what it's like now. So.
I mean, there was a lot made of it when I first left, that maybe there was more to my move than just my father. But I mean, I think now everyone knows that a lot of my decision, probably 95% of it was really based on the fact that my father was sick. And I remember the day that I found out, it instantly popped into my head that I wanted to go back to Queensland. And that was really before I even had a chance to sit down and think about it. It was more just like my dad and I were best mates, and Steele could probably allude to that more. Like even Steele, we used to go to the pub with Pot all the time and have beers, and he used to call Steele his second son and stuff. So it was purely based around that he was quite ill at the time. When I got back to Brisbane, a few months into me being back, he actually got better and he went into remission. But a year later, things started to happen, and he had a reoccurrence, and then obviously it went downhill quite rapidly from there. So I don't regret anything about my decision leaving the footy club, because the last 3 or 4 years of my life have been the best. Being able to spend, first of all, time with Dad, and then also being able to give him what was always his dream, and that was his first grandchild. And I even remember when he was in hospital towards the last few days of his life, the only time that he got excited was when Ruby walked through the door, and he'd get the button on his bed and lift himself up, and he'd be, where's my girl, where's my girl? Like, so it was those sorts of things that I'll always hold close to me. But moving forward, I think the best thing for me was to get back to Victoria and be around.
Okay, I got Michael here. Who's your question for, Michael?
Steele. Where was the big change from 2017 to 2018? Why did we improve so much after being down so low for 2 or 3 years?
Even not just that's just been previous years. I've always believed that I thought that our best footy was good enough to beat anyone. We were just far too inconsistent. Like, we'd have games where, would play well for maybe 2 quarters and then would play like shit, or would beat a team that potentially we weren't tipped to beat and then would lose to someone. So I just think that we're able to just become more consistent, and that's just not it. That's not just playing. That's everything we do during the week. So, the old saying is that, you try and train the way you play. And I think the habits that we, put into each other throughout the week, made us become the team that we were this year.
Beautiful. Excellent. Thanks, Michael.
Right, I've got Cameron here, all the way from Scotland.
Oh, from Scotland. Hello, Cameron. Come on in, mate.
Yeah. Steele, how did the club cope with injuries last year?
Sorry?
How did
No. Sorry, mate. Well done.
How did the club cope? I'd say the club coped really well. The guys that were injured maybe didn't cope as well, themselves. Obviously, to play half the season for guys like, Shaz and Dunny and get injured and not be able to play the second half of the season when, we've had the year that we have was, no doubt was hard on them. But we had guys that played at the back half of the last year that potentially, if we didn't get those injuries, would never have got a taste of senior footy. So I think the club handled it very well, and it's probably put us in a better position having guys that have been able to play senior footy probably earlier than expected.
Brilliant. Excellent. I agree. And one last question. Here we go. Come on in. X marks the spot. Bring her in,
I've got
Sandy.
Sharon here. Who's your
Hello,
question
Sharon.
to, Sharon?
Hi, how are you?
All right.
Steele, who are the best characters, as in personalities, at the club? Comics and, the people that are bigger than big,
Yeah, I think Braden Maynard and Ben Crocker are two that I don't know if they have a serious bone in their body. Well, actually, Braden does when he plays footy. They're always, mucking around, doing something, taking the piss out of someone. Who else is at the club? I don't know, probably just them two, really.
He's pretty good himself.
They do enough to cover probably for everyone. They almost just feed off each other, and I think Benny Crocker's become, he might have a bit of a man crush on Beamsy at the minute as well. So he seems to be tagging Dane around a fair bit. So hopefully Beamsy can mature the bloke up a little bit.
Sensational. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, a little bit of insight into the players. What I wanted to now do is just tell you, you need to keep an eye out on the That's Good for Footy page. If you haven't gone on and liked the page tonight, do us a favour, go and like it. You can also register there, just sign up. It's pretty simple. You'll get updates of shows when they're coming to a venue or a club near you. That's how that will work. What you also need to do is, once you've gone on to do that, you'll also find out when we're going to be doing, shows that are relevant to you. We're going to be doing a few regional shows, quite a few metro when we sign on again next year for 2019. A lot of people always say to us, geez, I haven't heard of the shows before. If you like tonight, I need to ask you a question. Did you? Yeah. Great. It's about 10% of you. That was awesome. Tell other people about it. Get them to come along, because if you had a good night, maybe they're the club they support, you can bring them along and you can join in the fun with them. To attend the shows, get on to that'sgoodforfooty.com.au/events to buy your tickets. On December the 19th, we're going to be back here again. We're doing the St Kilda show with the St Kilda Football Club. We've got Dan Hanbury and Jack Billings live here at the Village Green Hotel in Mulgrave. We'll be back here in January, late January, doing an Essendon show with Devon Smith and Dylan Shield. As I said, get onto the website to find your tickets for that. These shows are done live every Wednesday throughout the season. So, as I said, if you enjoyed yourself tonight, come along when we start doing them again in 2019. What I wanted to also say is thanks to Sam. Great job tonight, mate. Well done. Thanks for everything. Sandy, you've been a super trooper. All right? Appreciate you looking after the door and all that sort of stuff. I now need you to all put your hands together for these two magnificent blokes. Still side bottom, Dane Beams. Good luck in 2019, boys. Enjoy your Christmas. Merry Christmas to all of you, all right? This is your Christmas present. So, from That's Good for Footy to you, have a great Christmas and a good New Year. I hope to see you again in 2019. We'll get you both back on the shows. You'll come along and see that, wouldn't you? Yeah. Bloody oath, they say. Enjoy your Christmas and New Year, that's all I wanted to say. Don't bust a gut on the track yet. No, just take it easy.
Can I just say as well,
Of course you can.
thanks for all the support, obviously, with my move back. Obviously, 4 years ago it would have been, some people would have had the shits with it and stuff, and that's understandable. But look, I'm so excited about pulling on the colours again and running out with the big fella. And,
I love that.
Yeah. Hopefully having some success. So just like to thank you for your support.
Good on you, mate. You've got a fantastic player coming back to the Collingwood Football Club. You've got an exciting future in 2019. I wish you all the best. Stay healthy, look after yourselves, and we'll see you again next year. All I want to do is now just sign off. You've been watching the That's Good for Footy panel shows. Thank you, everyone. My name's Damien. Cheers and good night. Thanks, guys.